We're in. That's it. We're in. Let's see. Can we get audio? I don't know. I don't know. If I can even be heard, I don't know. I don't know. All right. So let me just check. We're gonna do a mic check here. I think everything is good, but how will I know? How will I know? Um I think everything is fine. It all yeah, I think we're fine. I think we're good. If anybody, comes through and they're like, hey, I can't hear you, then I'll know they couldn't hear me. This is my first time using a new streaming platform. This is also my first time being awake this late. I am never up at this time. I'm normally cozy in my. But then I realized I have to get this out. So now we're going to make this happen. Let's see. We're going to clear that. All right. I think we're good. Yeah, I think we're good. I feel like we're good. Honestly, I feel like we're good. I'm going to go with we're good. I'm going to put this all up on the big screen. Okay. So this is the way this is going to work. This is all new. Everything, wow, there's so much. Everything is just new, okay? We're going to go with it's all new. So if this doesn't work, it's the first time. Next week, I'll try it again, okay? Um, but everything that we're going to talk about is in the Substack for the Creatrix Chronicles. This is something that I am now going to do like a little video that's basically going to go over what I send out to the Creatrix Chronicles on Substack. And then also, it goes in a newsletter, not the newsletter, an email that lets you know that it's happened. So if you're on the email list, then you'll get it. First of all, I'm Asia, the Soulful Creatrix, and I am a sound and energy healer, a spiritual guide. I do a little bit of dabbling in everything. I create things, and which is why I'm a creatrix, okay? And if you are seeing this, that means that you're either on YouTube or Facebook or Instagram. I won't know unless you say hi to me, okay? If you don't say hi and you want to see where this ends up in the end of it all, let me make sure. Yeah, I'm hopefully recording. Oh gosh, let's start recording here. All right, so now I'm recording this, and the recording will end up on YouTube, okay? That's where they were going before, so I like it like that. I'm just going to keep it like that. I'm so happy that you either clicked on this link or that you found a link to me, or for whatever reason I ended up in your space, okay? I don't believe in coincidences. I'm too old for that. So if I ended up in your space, that means you were supposed to be here, I was supposed to be here, we were supposed to meet somehow, some way, okay? It was inevitable. It was going to happen. And here we are. So what is this? This right here, this specific thing is just going to be a weekly forecast, okay? I've started doing some forecasting. I don't even know if that's really what we're going to call it, okay? I take human design, astrology, a little bit of intuitive, extra oomph. I put it together into something that I'm hoping, my intention is that it will be helpful. My intention is that you find something in this that you can use, whether it's the affirmations or the mantras, whether it's rituals, whether it's just the information, maybe like a heads up. Sometimes it's helpful to wake up in the morning and know and say, hey, when I'm journaling, I have something to journal on, okay? There, I'm going to give you some journal prompts for each day of the week based off of the energy for that day, okay? And maybe that's the helpful part. Maybe it's just this idea that you kind of get a week ahead, like a little view of what the week ahead is, and you're able to take that and know that if it's hard, it gets better. Or if it's okay, then that means that you're on top and yay. You know what I mean? I'm just here cheering you on, just bringing out the good vibes. And also, I'm giving vibrational work to do each day for the week. Okay. I don't know many who are out there who are doing astrology or human design forecast or weather report and giving vibrational work. I'm a vibrational healer. Okay. That's what I do. And I also feel a little bit like I wrote the book. You can see it. There it is. I wrote the book. And so, because I wrote the book on frequencies and vibration, I might as well add them to what we're doing. So, that's how this is going to work. So, this week, November 3rd through November 9th, 2025, if you're seeing this after then, yay! I don't know. But the reason why I'm up so late is because I realized it's tomorrow. Okay, so tomorrow is Monday, November 3rd. I am filming this now in the wee hours, it feels like. I don't know. Daylight savings time happened, and now 6:30 comes, and I'm like, I don't know. I think it's like midnight. I don't know what time it is, okay? But I'm filming this now. It's dark outside. And I'm filming, okay, live. So if you're seeing this live and you have questions, say hi, put something in the chat to let me know that you're able to see this, or say, hey, I can't hear you, or, whatever, whatever needs to happen, just let me know. That being said, this week is going to invite us into this courageous action, like a soulful truth, or and also like a release. So we start off the beginning of this week with energies that we've been trying to like work through ancestrally. Okay, it's a little bit of like a wrapping up, let's say, of ancestral work that we've been probably doing now for a bit. Okay, and then midweek we get this super full moon in Taurus. Okay, and then the rest of the week it's this encouragement to be creative. All right, which I love to be creative. It's kind of in the name. Anyway, so that's basically the overview. All right, diving deeper into that, if you're wanting this in a more detailed or written format, let's say maybe you're a type that needs it written down, you don't want to sit here and take notes, no worries. I have a Substack, and on the Substack is the Creatrix Chronicles, and you will be able to get this whole thing, everything, the prompts, the rituals, the mantras, everything written out for you. It's in the Creatrix Chronicles. All you got to do is subscribe. Easy peasy. Okay, I'll leave the link for the Creatrix Chronicles so that you can subscribe in the description, and then also you'll be able to find it on my website here, soundhealer.life. Okay, and you'll be able to get on the email list, so that way whenever everything drops, then you've got it already. Okay, and I'm hoping that this video will end up coming before that next time. All right, just go with it. All right, so let's get started. Also, there should be chapters. We're gonna try chapters. We'll see how it all goes. Just bear with me. All right, I'm not like, this is not my thing. Okay, I'm doing what I do. So we're starting with Monday. Monday's theme is ignite the flame. Okay, we start off, we're ending out the sun. So in human design, the sun is in gate 44, the earth is in gate 24. That's just how it works. Sun, earth, they're always going to be opposite. Okay, so sun is in gate 44, earth is in gate 24. We also have an Aries. The moon is in Aries as it's going around its cycle. Okay, so the moon is in Aries. And Mars is trining Neptune. Okay, so we have a lot of this fiery energy. All right, this is like it's an inspired courage type of work. Okay, so the goals for Monday, okay, are break the patterns and act on vision. All right. Gate 44 is the gate where we are basically working through ancestral work. We're remembering a bunch of what's happened in the past, bringing that energy into a closing. Okay, we know what we know now. Okay, we've worked through. If you've been doing, the work from human design for, like, let's say the last part of last week. Okay, now we're wrapping it up. So now we're on the first part of this week. All right, we're basically, we know what we know now. We have this inner knowing. We've awakened and acknowledged our ancestral, work, the lineage, that we've been going through. And now is the time that we're going to take this energy. Okay, we're going to say, yes, thank you, I get it. Thank you, ancestors, for this information. All right, and we're going to use it. We're going to transmute it. Okay, take what we need, because you don't need it all. You don't need everything that they've given you. Okay, a lot of times it's a lot of extra baggage, but the goal is to find what you need. Okay, and then take what you need, and then we're going to use that to turn on this new courage that's going to come. Okay, because what's going to happen is you're going to need that courage later on. All right, so the focus is going to be on breaking patterns and acting on this vision of what you're wanting to create. Remember, my whole goal is having an alignment for you. Okay, my goal is for you to be able to align with your truest and highest self. All right, this version of you that is better, in alignment with who you were originally supposed to be before everybody gave you all that garbage and BS before you turned like 7. Okay, so the goal is to break these patterns. Okay, take what you need, leave the rest. Okay, and we're going to start acting on this vision of what we see as our truest and highest self. Okay, as we're working into that alignment. So for Monday, you can work with root work, not root work, but your root chakra. Okay, that root energy, what's touching the ground, your feet, your bottom, your tailbone, the idea of grounding into the earth. And there's going to be a lot of root work this week. When we think about it, Taurus full moon and working through like this energy of the two sides of Taurus. I've mentioned before, I was on another video just before this, another call, and there are these two sides of this Taurus energy, this sensual, flowing, beautiful, wanting everything to be lovely, side of Taurus, this Venusian goddess, type of Taurus energy, right? And then we have this controlled Hierophant, right? So we have the Empress, Venusian, and then we have this Hierophant, right? The controlled, this is structural, this is ritual, this is ancestral. Okay, and what we're talking about at the beginning of the week is this ancestral, ritual, structured. This is why we go to church on Sundays. This is why we do this on Thursdays. This is why the family gets together every summer. This is what it's a very structural, ancestral. This is why we take the meatloaf and put it into 2 pots before we put it in the oven. Okay, a very ancestral. The past is important. The past is necessary type of energy. Okay, that's the beginning of the week. All right, we're going to take what we need from that. All right, and the root work of that is the grounding into this energy of we are supported, we are safe, but also using this. So we're going to use the root 256 hertz. Let's say the 256 hertz C-bowl. Let's go with that. Or 256 hertz. Easy peasy. All right. Drumming, also good for, root tuning. Okay. Tuning into that grounded energy of the earth. Okay. And then also the 396. Why? Because we're talking about some fire. We have the Aries, the moon is in Aries. We have Mars is trining Neptune. So there's some fire to this. There's some courage. There's some actual, like, in your gut of your belly, the fire that needs to come, because you got to chop some stuff off. You got to cut some shit out. Okay. You have to be courageous and knowing that this part right now is not going to be easy. All right. So you're going to have to find that courage. And so a 396 hertz, maybe using a tuning fork and an auric sweep with a 396 hertz. I have that tuning fork around here somewhere. Basically taking the fork and doing an auric sweep with the 396 hertz is also great for that, bringing that fire that you're going to need. Any gong work, also good for fire energy. Okay. Journaling with some obsidian around. I mean, I like obsidian. It's a good protective, but also boundaries. Obsidian is great for boundaries. Okay. And so knowing that right now you're about to create some boundaries with what you're bringing in from the ancestral message. All right. You can journal, have some obsidian around. Maybe, a nice obsidian crystal you like to look at. I don't know. Maybe you have a bracelet. Maybe there's something that, you have in your room that's obsidian. Whatever it is. Okay. Journaling, using the prompts. And then the mantra of I move with sacred fire. The other thing about fire is that it burns away what no longer serves us. And hold on, I want to make sure I get the journal prompts up here. Ooh. Come on, journal prompts. Where you at? We're going up. Okay, Monday's journal prompts. Ooh, this is bright. Guys, it's very bright. We're gonna be golden. Okay, now back to where I was. Ooh, lost you. There you go. All right, so Monday's journal prompts. I'm done hiding now. Okay, let me stop before I get what is that called? I don't want to get copyrighted again. Like, I feel like I get copyrighted so often on most of my videos because I end up singing. I'm singing while I'm doing work, and then now I'm copyrighted. Okay. Monday's prompt. What old story is ready to be rewritten? Is Monday's prompt. Make sure that I got the right prompt also, just because if I didn't, then I'll be sad. And then you'll go through and you're going to look at the thing on the Substack, and then you'll be like, hey, wait, that wasn't even the prompt. Let me see. I'm done. Okay, let me see. Now I'm going to start singing again. Okay, this is no good. Okay, here we go. Monday's prompt. All right. Oh yeah, okay. So what vision am I ready to act on? Is that what I said? I don't even know if that's what I said. What vision am I ready to act on? And then the other prompt is, what pattern am I ready to break? Because that's what we're doing. We're breaking patterns, okay? Because you were given all this information from your ancestral line, right? I'm going to make this a little bit, because there's a lot of light there. Okay. You were given all of this information from your ancestral line. This is why we do the things we do. And this is all important. And this is why it's important. And it was important to them. Okay. Now, what's important to you? What are you taking? Because you're going to take some stuff, but you don't have to take it all. Okay. So what are we getting rid of? What are we breaking? What patterns are we ready to break? Okay. And the mantra affirmation is going to be, I move with sacred fire. That was my dog. He's in all the videos. I move with sacred fire. Okay. Okay, let's see. I wish I can get somebody who can tell me whether or not they can even hear me, if I'm even on. Like, I don't even know. But we're recording this, okay? So it'll be on the YouTube if anything, that's where it'll go. Okay. On to Tuesday. I'm going to go a little bit faster now because otherwise we're going to be here forever. Okay. So Tuesday. So on Tuesday, Mars is going to shift into Sagittarius. All right. And that's going to urge us to start walking in our truth. Start like we haven't been doing it forever. Okay. But, we're going to be walking in this truth. Okay. So there's going to be it's like a whole dramatic series here. Okay. We figured out what we're taking. We put in the barriers. We're starting making these boundaries. Okay. Now on Tuesday, we're going to start walking in this truth. All right. So basically, this is like, the questions of, what bold move now is going to honor your evolution. Okay. So Tuesday, the gates are still the same. Sun is still in 44. Earth is still in 24. Right. Very important to know that, the gates, they kind of stay the same for about a week at a time, so, they work through their energy and then they go into the next gate. All right. That's just, how it works. We have Mars entering into Sagittarius. This is very bold. Okay. If you know any Sages, very bold. All right. It's also about truth. They're going to tell you the truth. Mars is going to kind of give you this like energy of, oh, I got to go, move it forward, and it's going to be like, kind of, almost violent. I'm not going to even say violent. That's not violent, but forceful. Mars is a very forceful, like very masculine, very yangish type of like, yeah, moving it forward. Okay. We're going to hopefully try to tone this down. And that's where that Earth in 24 is going to come in with this. Okay, we're going to be grounded. We're going to tone it down. We're going to make sure that we're only taking what's serving us. You know what I mean? Let's see. So the focus is going to be on truth. Like I said, Sagittarius, very truthful. Intention and our evolution. All right. Because like I said, we're moving, aligning higher. Okay. So for Tuesday, let's see. The prompts for Tuesday. If you're journaling. The rituals, I'll start with the rituals. The rituals, we have barefoot walking outside. Awesome. Okay, because we're still grounding. We're still trying to keep connected. Okay, we're not trying to fly off the handle. So walking barefoot, definitely great. Speaking your intentions out loud. This is where it all starts, in the speaking. Okay, speaking your intentions out loud. All right. Also, if you're into like using water infusions for ritual work, sipping water with mint, so maybe a mint tea or a mint infused water. And then also you can do a charging of your water with carnelian. Everybody knows carnelian, very good for that fire energy that we're working with. That Martian, fire. Yeah, carnelian, it's a very orangey stone. You can, charge your water with the carnelian energy as well. Anyway, so sipping mint infused water with some carnelian and getting into that speaking, the hard parts are going to be the speaking parts. Okay, speaking it out loud. All right. So the prompts, if you're journaling, are going to be, where is my truth leading me? Which I like. Second one, what truth have I been avoiding? Okay. And then what bold moves honor my evolution? Okay. So those are the 3 journal prompts for Tuesday. And then also the mantra, the affirmation is I walk my path with purpose, power, and grace. Okay. It's a good one. Like I said, we're waking up. We're waking up, guys. All right. Wednesday, November 5th. Now, this is the day that we get the super moon, the super full moon in Taurus. All right. Now, like I mentioned, the beginning of this week was very controlled, hierophant energy, very spiritual rules, the spiritual rules of it. What the Hierophant is like, do the ritual, get it done, that kind of energy, kind of almost rigid. But now we're moving into the end of the week where we're going to talk more on the flowy, Venusian, loving, creative energy. All right. So the sun shifts in the human design, the sun shifts into gate 1. I'll tell you gate 1. Let's see, let me make sure. Okay. So gate 1 is creative self-expression. And I don't know that I mentioned it before, but gate 44, where the sun goes from Monday, Tuesday into, early Wednesday, gate 44 is alertness and pattern recognition. All right. Recognizing patterns from the past to inform the present. Okay. So gate 1 is now creative self-expression. All right. This is that G center identity, that the heart area. Okay. And gate 1 is authentic creation, soul-led artistry, and expressing your uniqueness. I mean, come on. That's fun, Jen. All right. So to balance out that gate 1, we have the gate 2, and Earth is in gate 2, which is direction of the self. That's purpose filled. Okay. Using form, repetitive guidance. So it's kind of like the beginning of the week where, we're using our heart space to balance out this ancestral, soulful, spiritual, ritualistic feeling from from working through all this ancestral work this last week, and we're balancing now with like a heart space. Okay, now we're going into the end of the week, and now we get to have some fun, creative expression. But they're like, wait, no, the Earth ends up being we're gonna use some form in this. Okay, we're gonna make this do something. Okay, we're gonna make this be useful. Okay, direction. Okay, we're the idea of receptive guidance and magnetic alignment. So it's the idea of we're going to be creative with the intention of that alignment that I'm talking about, that I talk so much about, right? That alignment into who is our highest and best self. What do we see when we're, thinking of ourselves 5 years from the future, 10 years in the future? Okay. That type of alignment. Okay. Let's see. So again, we're on Tuesday. No, we're on Wednesday. No, we're on Wednesday. I passed it. Okay, so Wednesday, we had the gate shift. Now the sun is in gate 1, Earth is in gate 2. Like I said, they're always going to be at the opposite ends of each other. We've got the super full moon in Taurus. Taurus energy is bringing that grounded but yet beautiful, creative, feminine, Venusian, artistic, right? But grounded. Okay, because it's Taurus energy. It's a very, very interesting, play. I mean, we all love a Taurus, okay? So we know what, what dealing with them is like, okay? So the ritual for Wednesday, okay? I'm throwing in a sound bath. I'm a sound healer. It's right there in the name. It's in the name. Okay, so I'm going to throw in a sound bath. Of course I am. So in this sound bath, if you find one, that you can use, I would say focus on the roots and the crown. Okay, there are many times when we play that root sound. Okay, the C bowl. All right, if you're in on you have your own bowls. Okay, That sea bowl, you want to focus that in. That's that grounding bowl, okay? The crown bowl, we never really play them together, okay? I wouldn't suggest you play them together. It's an interesting sound, but they don't really go well together, okay? Why? Because now we're talking, earth and sky, as above, so below. Which, by the way, the Hierophant symbol, right? As above, so below, right? As above, so below. Anyway, and then also the hidden stuff. Anyway, just so you know, check the cards. It's on the card. We just talked about this. But this is the idea of playing into as above, so below. So you have the crown bowl that you're working in, the B, if you have a full set. The B note would be the crown, okay? And then you also have the C, the low C, in a bowl that you would also be working, okay? The 221.23 hertz tuning fork is what I have here, okay? This is the frequency of Venus, all right? Talked about it in the book, okay? How planets have their own frequency. It's also because Taurus is ruled by Venus that I would say go with a tuning fork action, all right? Maybe on the heart, okay? The frequency of Venus. You can use it aurically, okay? Just, pound it and, go around, all right? It's basically just pulling in that energy while you are doing your work, okay? And then, of course, the 528 hertz. Love it. I'm gonna always root for the 528 hertz. It's gonna just always be my thing. Okay, that bowl, you can use it for everything. I'm not gonna lie, you can use it for everything. You can spend the whole week just hanging out with a 528 hertz bowl because it's gonna just align so many different things. So I would say also, if you're interested, create a moon altar. Use some rose quartz. Throw some of that in there, okay? I love rose quartz. Rose quartz is very good for that open heart work, okay? And this is going to be that time when you would want to use some open heart work. All right. So our prompts, if you're journaling, the prompts are: what am I ready to release to feel more whole? That's one. What weight am I ready to release to create freely? That's two. And then, what wants to be born through me now? And I loved that one because I'm going to show you. I'm going to try to show you, because if it gets me in trouble, then it gets me in trouble. But this is that idea that, like I said, we moved out of Hierophant territory in the beginning of the week and we moved into Empress territory, okay? And as a special treat, I have the Empress tarot card. And look at that. This is the what weight are we wanting, what wants to be born through me now? What wants to be born through me now? What are you trying to give birth to, babes? That's the question, okay? What wants to come through you? You're here for a reason. What is that reason? What is that purpose? What are you supposed to bring out? What are you supposed to create? I'd love to see it, okay? So that's the third question. And then our mantra: it is safe to let go. I am free to create. It is safe to let go. I am free to create. All right, we're moving on to Thursday. So now Thursday through the rest of the week, the sun and earth gates for human design are going to be the same, because now we're working into that creative energy. Okay, so just know I'm not going to repeat that the sun is in gate 1 and the earth is in gate 2 for the rest of this. All right, just know it is there. We've acknowledged it. We're going to move forward. Okay. Venus enters Scorpio though on Thursday. Okay, and Thursday's theme is feel to heal. Okay, this is hard for a lot of us. Okay, some people just don't like feelings. Okay, if you don't like feelings, Thursday may be a little bit hard for you. All right. feel to heal, okay? Because Venus is moving into Scorpio, all right? And this is talking intimacy. Now we're talking magnetic honesty. We're talking transformation, okay? It's the idea of being so vulnerable and honest with your vulnerability, okay? That's Venus, that's Scorpio. That's just how it works, okay? Half the time, the problem between a Venus and a Scorpio and a Taurus is going to be that the Taurus doesn't want to say anything. The Scorpio wants to pull it out. The Taurus doesn't want to say it, okay? But this energy right here, all right, is this idea of saying, we've been talking about this, saying what needs to be said, okay? Bringing it out, the stuff that you don't want to talk about, the stuff that you don't want to acknowledge, it's coming. We've been dealing with this, okay? We had eclipses, we had now we've got Scorpio, Pluto moved into Aquarius, okay? This is the time. We're all saying it. We're saying the shit that needs to be said. It needs to be said. We're saying it, okay? Venus enters into Scorpio, all right? It's a vulnerability, okay? It's intimacy. It's moving that transformation into the throat to say what needs to be said. Honesty. Magnetic honesty. Like you can't help it. Like I didn't mean to say it, and you said it. Now it's gone. Now it's done. Okay? Okay. So the rituals. Here's the deal. To say what needs to be said, it's probably a good idea to sit into some silence. Okay? So one of the rituals that we've listed is to sit into silence with your bare feet to the earth and breathe for about 6 minutes, okay? Just go through it. Do the work, okay? Just sit in the silence, because it's going to be important to know that what you say is going to have some ramifications, okay? So sit in silence, maybe with some moonstone, okay? The prompts for Thursday. What truth am I afraid to feel? What wants to be expressed through me? And what does my body know that my mind forgot? And that third one, because we're about to, we're rolling into the body, right? We're embodying this, okay? What does my body know that my mind forgot? Maybe my mind chose to forget it. Hey, quit it. Maybe my mind chose to forget it, right? Maybe it's blocked for a reason, okay? What does my body know that my mind chose to forget? Okay. And then the mantra for Thursday. My emotions are sacred messengers that fuel my creativity. It's important. And this is why it's important to feel. Like we spend so much time. Like if you're my age, if you're in your early 80s, okay, like I am, all right? And you were told, nay, you were strictly enforced not to feel into your emotions, okay? Suck it up. Don't cry. Whatever. You know what I mean? This is important. This work of being able to feel into your emotions, to go through the whole cycle. We've talked about this before, okay? Go back and look at other videos. I say this all the time, okay? But you want to feel all of your emotions. They're there for a reason. They're there to give you the signals for what you need in order to move forward with some semblance of alignment, okay? Why did you feel that way? What happened? Where was the trigger? What was the sensation that got you here? How do we move forward with or without that sensation? These are the important things, okay? That's why we're doing this. All right. Friday. The theme is speak your soul's creative alignment. Speak your soul's creative alignment. I am a sound and energy healer and spiritual guide, okay? And I help my clients move into alignment after chaos and loss and grief, okay? That's what I do. Speaking it into alignment, okay? The energy has moon in Gemini, okay? And we all know Geminis are great with the communication, okay? Typically, right? Gemini energy is very communicative on both levels, right? Good twin, bad twin, okay? We're going to communicate it because, I mean, basically Geminis are talking to each other all day. Just, good twin, bad twin, good twin, talking to each other. Do it, right? Communication. So they got this one. They got that one on lock, all right? And then Venus is going to square Pluto, okay? The idea of this, all of this energy is just know that it's a vulnerability in your desires to be authentically you, okay? This is the time when we are working through that desire to be authentically you, but you're now having to say it. You're now having to put it out there. You're now having to show everybody what you've been working on thinking in the last, year. Now it's time to bring that shit into fruition. Okay, we're bringing it out. We're putting it out there. And that can feel vulnerable. That can feel scary. And that's what this energy right now is for on Friday. Okay? So the rituals we have, throat chakra tuning, very important. The throat in the beginning was the word. And God said, the Big Bang. These are all sounds. Okay, things happened from the sound, the boom, the sound. Okay, you can keep something in your heart all day, every day, just kind of wish on it and hope and pray and hope and pray. But if you don't say it, it's not coming out. There's inside and then there's the external. Okay, we don't even get to the above. All right, you got to say it. All right, so throat chakra tuning. 741 hertz if you have some solfeggio bowls or forks or sounds. 741 is great for that. Also, just throat chakra, okay. The G bowl, okay. If you have a G bowl, great for that. All right, you can write a letter to your soul. I love this. I do this every so often, okay? I'll write a letter to my soul, like kind of just like a check-in, kind of like a, hey girl, where are we at on this, all right? Dress in a color that reflects your essence. Dress as you are, okay? Be you, okay? This is like, move to music that feels like your soul. This is just like an idea. Friday, by the way, just, the goddess's day, all right? Friday is the day to just kind of like dress and embody and be, okay? The Empress, right? That Venusian energy, okay? We're gonna just be in that, energy, all right? Friday is a great day for that. Speaking it out. I am this. I am, okay? Speaking of the prompts, what truth needs my voice? Find your cause. Say what needs to be said, okay? But what truth needs my voice? All right? And then the other prompt, what expression feels most like me? All right? So those are Friday's prompts. Now the mantra or affirmation for Friday, my creativity flows from truth. And that one is deep. Because sometimes our creativity comes from who's paying the bills, right? Sometimes your creativity has to flow from what was easy to make. Sometimes your creativity flows from how you can, get the money the fastest, okay? But how about my creativity flows from truth? It's a great one. I say go for it. All right, Saturday. Whew. Now we've spoken, okay? Now we're integrating the wisdom, okay? So Saturday, integrate the wisdom, all right? Gemini is still, the moon is still in Gemini for a little bit. This is, we're still working through this mental clarity, this communication of what is true, okay? And we can do some breath work as ritual. Intuitive drawing is a good one for Saturday. if you have, the time and wherewithal for it, you just kind of start drawing. Just start drawing and just go with it, okay? Whatever comes up, it just comes up. Bonus points if you don't pick up your pen or pencil, whatever you're using to draw, don't pick it up. Just let it draw. Just go and see what your mind creates when you're just there, okay? Throw on some music. Put on some 741 hertz music, okay? Off of YouTube. Find something, all right? And some handpan music. I love that guy, Maldi Martin. I love him. Okay, throw it on and just let your pen go. Okay. What else we have? Oh, spiritual baths with like rose, or any kind of bath with just like rose and some patchouli oils. Okay, you can do that. Some rose oil, definitely. I love a bath with some rose oil in it and rose petals. Oh, awesome. Okay, but I digress. The prompts. What have I learned this week? Okay, and what creative impulse is rising within me? Because it's coming, because you're here to make something. I'm going to just have to keep saying this over and over again. You're here for a reason. And that reason, that whatever you are here to produce, to create, to bring forth, it's got to come out of you. Okay, so what creative impulse is rising within me? Okay, and then the mantra or affirmation is I am safe to feel and reveal. Love it. All right. Finally, we get to Sunday, which is great because I'm almost at the end of recording time. Like I'm ready to go to sleep. Okay, but it might be 7:30 outside. No, I'm joking. I have no idea what time it is. Sunday, rest and receive. Okay, so you got to do that part. All right. So Mercury is going stationary, right? Basically, we've been talking about Mercury is going into retrograde, okay? But then there's this part where, Mercury's doing what it does. It stays the same, okay? Mercury's gonna do what it doesn't move. Like, it's not changing course, okay? What's happening is as it's in the sky, it kind of starts to slow down or look like it's slowing down, okay? And then it kind of pauses, and then it kind of looks like it's going backwards, just because of the way that the solar system works, okay? Mercury is always going in its same direction. We're always going in our same direction, but we're going around the sun, okay? And it just looks like, because Mercury is closer to the sun and it's doing this, okay? So it just kind of looks like it's pausing, okay? It's called a stationary, okay? Mercury is going stationary because it's about to hit this retrograde, okay? So it's pausing. And Mercury being communication, about things through, okay? Technology is also there also. But this idea that on Sunday, we're going to pause, okay? We're going to pause. We're going to reflect. It's a great day to do it. It's a Sunday anyway, all right? And, silent meditation. Give yourself a foot soak. Do something awesome for yourself. Create a video note. So this is what I'm encouraging. Create a voice note or a video, all right? And share how this week went for you, okay? Speak from your heart, all right? You don't have to share it. But if you do want to share it, you want to send it to me, send it to me there, okay? Asia at soundhealer.life. If you just want my email address, I'm just going to put it out there. Please don't send me crazy videos. I'm asking for a specific type of video. I'm not asking for every type of video. Don't do it, okay? Send me the videos of you reflecting on how this week went, especially if you're going through the week with us in the Creatrix community, where we're forecasting here, okay, where we're doing the prompts, where we're doing the work, we're working through alignment, we're working through the energy centers and the gates, okay. So that's from Sunday. So the prompts, if you're journaling, what does my soul need now? Just saying that out loud. What does my soul need now? It's like, it's a, wow, and then what part of me is ready to be seen? Okay. And then the mantra or affirmation, my presence is my message. And isn't that what it's really all about? Like, because you're here for that reason. And whatever that is with your presence, that's going to be your message, okay? Not necessarily your mess, but your presence. My presence is my message, okay? My presence is my message. Go with that one, all right? Man, I did a lot of work today. I'm really, really hoping that this, translates well and that, it recorded. I really do hope, okay? Because my intention is to create something helpful. And I've been sitting here for an hour. Oh my gosh. Okay, so if you're here still after the hour, all right, I just want to invite you to go deeper with us, okay? You can do a free membership on Substack. These won't be included. So the notes and everything that I'm doing with these forecasts are not included with the free membership. But you do get one chance to view a paid article with a free membership. You do get to see one, okay? And if you see one, don't see this one, okay? I would suggest you go back and look at Conversations in Liminal Spaces, where I'm talking to this woman who has been sharing like how she feels about she's in hospice, and she's preparing to die. She's basically preparing to die. And so I did a whole series on these conversations, or I'm doing a whole series because she's still alive, okay? I'm doing a whole series on conversations that I have with her and what it feels like to be able to talk to her while she's going through this process of dying. If you want to use up your free one, I would say use it on that one, okay? But that's just me. I'm biased. You can do the paid subscription to Substack, to the Creatrix Chronicles on Substack, and you can get everything: the archives, all of the weekly forecasts, all of the different everything I put out. I put out stuff on sound, I put out stuff on frequency, I put out like stuff on metaphysical stuff, astrology, because I'm kind of all over the place. I don't know if you met me, okay, but I'm kind of all over the place, okay? And I like that. All right. I'm not gonna change. So that's what's all on the Substack. Now you could also try and go deep. If you're ready to go deeper, check out the other stuff that I have. It's all there, okay? Right there. Soundhealer.life. All right. If you're in West Palm Beach, you can hang out with us on Saturdays. I do the weekly sound bath for the community. It's by donation. You just show up. And I play for whoever's there. If you're the only one there, you're getting a personal sound bath. Okay. If you want to go deeper with me personally, feel free to email me. I mentioned the email before, but I will put the link in the description, okay? And or use this link right here to book a private session with me. And I think that's everything. I'm trying to make sure. Yes, again, all of my books are also, because I have 6 of them now, they're also there, all right? Books on metaphysics, books on universal laws, books on death and dying and grief, because as you may know, I am a holder of death keys, okay? So I work with a lot of and around a lot of death. It happens, all right? I'm okay with it now. And in one of my books, Grief to Growth, I explain to you why. Shameless plug. I explain why I'm okay with it. Anyway, That's all I have. I am still Asia, the soulful creatrix. And until next time, I am wishing you nothing but love and peace and many continued blessings. I'm about to go to sleep, okay? I don't even know. It's time. It's time for me to go to sleep. I hope you sleep well. I hope everything works out well for you if you're using these for the week, okay? Goodbye.